Alright, so it has been just about 1 month since I came over here to my brother and sister-in-law's house and started work renovating their park strip here. And we did that in rather dramatic fashion. So first of all, we started out by completely erasing the existing grass, and I've gotten a lot of questions for why we did that. The biggest and most common question I've seen was, why would we kill off grass to plant new grass? Well, there was a complete mix of all kinds of things in here, not just grass, a lot of unwanted grass, and a lot of unwanted weeds, and the easiest way to get rid of them was just to spray them out and start over. We needed to bring in new topsoil anyway, we were going to do new seed anyway, and so we just killed it all off. We brought in the topsoil, but before we brought in the topsoil, we had a little fun and we burned off all of the new grass with the propane torch. Get a little bit of carbon material out of that to add to the soil. Not really much, but like I said, it's fun. So did that, we planted the seed. We did all of that in the same night. Took only a couple hours, and here we are 1 month later. You can see behind me we're having fantastic results here. Let me go over some things that I'm seeing and what the next steps are. Alright, so I want to start off with just a quick timeline of events. Now, we did plant my premium Blue Ribbon Kentucky Bluegrass Perennial Ryegrass seed mix here, and within 10 days Gavin's sending me pictures of little sprouts popping out here, and that's the ryegrass. And the ryegrass serves a more protective purpose for the bluegrass that comes in a couple weeks later, and we're already seeing a substantial amount of bluegrass here too. Very excited about that. It's slower growing, and so all of the taller stuff you see here is the ryegrass, and the shorter stuff is the bluegrass. And before you know it, as we continue to water this, fertilize it, he's about ready to mow it for the first time. That's really going to help it fill in here. So less than 10 days before we saw sprouts. 3 weeks later, and it's looking pretty much like this. We're at about 4 weeks now. Grass is growing everywhere, not just here in the main area. It's growing in the curb and gutter area here. It's growing in the cracks. It's growing, and it's even growing on top of the sprinkler heads, which is kind of funny. Now, as part of the process, and in my guidebook that I have available on my website, one of the steps that I recommend doing is using a pre-emergent herbicide that's safe for certain grass types. And so for this purpose, we're using tenacity, which is mesotrione. And what I do is I spray it at the time of seeding, and then I come back about 3 weeks or so later and spray it again, and then that's the end of that. So from there, we'll mow it a few times, and then we'll start going into regular weed control practices. Now, I may have gone a little bit heavy on that second application, and what I did was I mixed it in with fertilizer. So you can see a little bit of bleaching going on here on some of the grass blades. They're turning white. That's what mesotrione does, and I think I may have gone a little bit heavy. Typically you don't see it on the grass blades, but you will see that same effect on the weeds that come up, because that's essentially what mesotrione does, is it cuts off the plant's ability to use photosynthesis and grow by bleaching it. So that's what we're seeing there. Other than that, things are looking really, really nicely. Now, as far as next steps, like I said, I was just here about a week or so ago and fertilized the second time. Fertilized at the time of seeding, fertilized about 3 weeks later, and we're gonna wait until another couple, 3 weeks or so to fertilize it again. I think he's about ready for the first mow. The bluegrass isn't tall enough to be mowed yet, but the rye certainly is. And anything that can be cut will encourage other aspects of growth here. So root growth, very important. We can start filling things in. I think it will look a lot cleaner, and just mowing in general as often as possible will encourage growth overall. So very exciting times. It's about time for that first mow. I'm going to let Gavin know that here in a little bit, and we will continue to update you on how things are going here. So there you go. There is a quick update on how things are going here with this particular project, and just some initial results of my Blue Ribbon grass seed product. More content coming around that. I've had tons and tons of questions about it. and there's a lot more information that I'm excited to share with you on that, and just kind of dive into that topic of grass seed a little bit more. There's a lot to learn and there's a lot to share, so look forward to that. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching. It's Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to all of those who serve our country and sacrifice for our freedom here. Appreciate you so much. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.